Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of our Tailormade Talks. This is a series we put together to help you guys, our audience, get to know our team, our clients and our vendors much better. Today I'm delighted, I've got Chris with us. Chris is currently the head coach in Thurles, but you've been around so much I don't really know kind of what you are. Chris, delighted to have you with us for episode 2. How did you come to work at Tailormade?
I only realised the other day it was my 3-year anniversary.
Congrats.
So that's after flying by. But how I started, I was working in a completely different field. And
it was construction, yeah?
It was construction, yeah. And I'm a cousin of yours, so yeah. I was following you on Instagram and I seen you were kind of making moves, and it was always an area that I was interested in. And I suppose it kind of reached out to you first. I remember doing a sit down, it was actually upstairs.
Yeah. Myself and Gav, was it, or just me?
No, it was just yourself.
Yeah.
It was just yourself, and I came in with like loads of questions because I wanted to open a gym at that time and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you were like, you gave me a few pointers what to do and what it's like and all that kind of stuff. And I was still working in construction at the time, so I just said I would try go get some sort of a qualification first of all, and then see if I could get a job.
Lovely.
Get a bit of experience.
And we'll actually touch on that a bit later on when it comes to like the career stuff.
Yeah. But that's kind of it. That's how I started. I seen Instagram pretty much first of all. I knew I wanted to get involved in this type of field, and it was probably the first place I thought of to go.
And you know, I think that's interesting because the reason for this series is to grow our audience on Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We have a few more gyms in the pipeline, so we are looking for new coaches to come on board. So I think growing an Instagram presence obviously helps, and it helps you kind of, I know we're cousins, but it helps you like see what we were doing.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to kick off first and help the audience get to know you, right? So I'm going to start on like your personal background.
Yeah.
Coming up through school and all the rest of it. I know you play hurling, so we might touch into that. But I want to know, what was young Chris like in primary school, secondary school?
I was probably quite enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was just always interested in sports. Never really took school too seriously, that kind of way. I was more having a crack.
Similar to myself.
Yeah. In primary school, you know, everyone's in primary school. You're just kind of.
And you went to primary school in
Tumalburris. Yeah, I was in primary school in Tumalburris. So that was grand. Came up through along the years. Went into CBS then.
CBS and Thurles.
Yeah, for secondary school, and same as well. I never was like just a full-on messer or anything like that, but I never took school too seriously, that kind of way. Obviously played a bit of hurling all the way up along. That was kind of more of a focus than school at the time. I was probably like selling stuff out of the locker, sweets and stuff, like more than actually studying, that kind of way.
Similar to me.
But yeah, so you're coming up the way, I was fairly laid back. Just kind of happy enough playing sport and that kind of stuff.
Was hurling, did you play any other sports?
Hurling, football, soccer, the main things really.
Right, okay, perfect. Because I know you played in the Heart Cup team in
CBS, played on that. We won that in 2015, so that was class.
Where were you playing on that?
I was wing back. Yeah.
Man, brilliant. So, went to Tumalburris Primary School, started playing hurling there, went to the Thurles CBS, played hurling, football, soccer. Didn't take school too serious, was a bit of a messer. Just coming up through school, and I asked previous people this question as well, is there any like challenges or growth moments that you've had through maybe your school or early years that have maybe forged you into the direction you're going?
I don't know in general, but I was always kind of an independent person, I suppose.
Good.
So like, I wouldn't have been too fazed by whatever's going on around me, that kind of stuff.
I would still say that that's probably like a characteristic trait.
Probably like once you kind of have that, I suppose that's the way you are. But no, I'd say just kind of I always had to figure stuff out for myself, kind of a thing. So it's I don't know. Yeah.
Independence.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
To not be dependent on people.
Yeah, it's kind of a growth thing continuously, like.
Yeah. And that's probably one thing, and like me and Gavin often say it as well about just like no matter what happens in the business, Chris seems to just be like it never gets on top of you.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
Yeah. And it's not like we've a great family and everything like that, but it's just the way I probably am in general.
Yeah, good. I think it's a win. Cool. That's good. In school, and I know you said you didn't take school too seriously, but did you have an idea of what you wanted to do outside school? Like,
No.
I know you were into hurling, now you're into fitness. Just give us an idea of the thought process around.
I had no idea whatsoever, to be totally honest with you. I remember down the CEO at the time. I think I put down business first of all. I think I put down business, then I put down PE teaching, then I put down arts or something like that. And I missed the first two and I got arts in Mary I. So then I was like, right, I'll be a primary school teacher, just because that was the kind of the route everyone was going to. So I went to Mary I. I done 2 years there. Still didn't really have a clue like at that stage. I obviously was always interested in the gym and stuff. So I got an apprenticeship then. It was an electrical apprenticeship. Done that for probably 2 years, 2.5, but it was during COVID as well, so it got really slow. And at that stage I was like, fuck this, I'll just do something I actually really like. Okay. And then that's when I got involved in this and got out to you and everything like that.
I didn't actually know you have 2 years of electrics done.
Yeah, well it was during COVID, so it was really slow.
Yeah.
And it got delayed, and then I was like, I'm going to have to do this for even longer.
You might come in handy with us in a few bits.
I know, I can wire up a plug, but I wouldn't go looking for too much else.
They think they need to have it all figured out. So I think
don't though. You never know. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's good for them to hear of us, like that we did not have it figured out either. Could you just tell us or tell everybody what your current role is within the business, and also maybe the history of the last 3 years and the different roles that you've taken and how you managed to get to where you are?
Yeah, well, currently at the minute, I suppose, I'm based in 2 gyms, Thurles and Bancha. I was in Bancha for the last 1.5 years as kind of like head coach, and I partnered up with you for that one.
Yeah.
And then currently I'm kind of gone over to Thurles and Bancha at the same time, because obviously there was a role to fill over in Thurles, so we said we had to go there then as well. But yeah, I'm just kind of managing head coach, I suppose, over in both of those at the minute.
Good.
That's where you find me.
Brilliant. And I think it's important to note how you started with us, right? Because I think there's a lot of people that follow us that are maybe, believe it or not, a little bit intimidated to join as a PT because they don't know are they good enough, they don't know how it would progress. So maybe just give an idea as to like the route you started with us 3 years ago and just how that progressed.
Yeah, well, after I met you the first time, I went off and got qualified and reached back out to see if there was any roles going. And I think I had to wait like a month or something because there was no roles going at the time. Yeah. But it was worth waiting for in the long term because I got a part-time role in Cashel first. And I think I'd done maybe a month or 2 months, 3 months there. Fairly short term anyway, but then a role opened up in Carrick, which is like the furthest gym away from me. And I actually said no to it first. Yeah. And then I was like, fuck it, right, I may as well just go for experience, get it done. And it turned out to be brilliant.
It was a fair drive because you're living in Two Mile Burris.
Yeah, living in Two Mile Burris.
The drive to Carrigan Shore Gym was...
It was like 50 minutes up and down, yeah. But in the long term, it was worth going to because got so much experience. Yeah. And, you know, it was a lot of time underneath your belt that there was a lot of learnings in it as well. Yeah. So it was definitely worth going to. So I started in Cashel part-time, went to Carrick full-time.
That was in 2021. Just after COVID, I think you started in Cashel.
Probably was, yeah.
Yeah, and then you went to Carrick probably late 2021. How long were you there for?
I was there for just about a year, I'd say, maybe just over a year. I think it was like September to September kind of thing. Because Thurles would have opened up in September as well.
Of 2022, yeah.
Yeah. So I spent about a year, I suppose, in Carrick, meeting everyone down there. And then when Thurles opened up, I moved back to Thurles and got a little bit closer to home. And was there for probably about 3 months, I'd say.
Yeah, if even.
Yeah. It was all quick moving, like.
Yeah.
And then Bancha opened up, and there was an opportunity to go out there with you. So I done that as well. And I was there for a 1.5 years, still there now. And I'm also based in Thurles just over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Brilliant. And I think that gives a good insight as to like how you started with us part-time. You took the opportunities as they came. Yeah. Brilliant.
It's funny though, because there was one guy, he actually came in as I was working there just yesterday, the day before. And he came in and he's just after finishing college, and it kind of reminded me as well because he was like, I don't really care about getting paid or whatever. He's like, I just need experience. Yeah. And I was like, that's fair enough. Like, it's nearly what I done as well. So that's kind of the way I looked at Carrick. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a year to make money; it was a year to just learn. Like,
sometimes you have to just get the reps under your belt.
Yeah, that was
it. Get hours of coaching in and learn those mistakes and get the feedback. Yeah. And progress. Perfect. Could you share maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of the most positive moments in your memory of since you've been working with us in the last 3 years? Putting you on the spot now. Or most positive, I suppose, or most enjoyable moments.
In what way, like with people or
just things that like stand out? More so. We'll get them to the clients in a minute. It could be with clients actually. Just top 3 things that stand out.
Well, I'd say the first one was probably the first day, and I don't even remember too well, but the first day down in Bancha, because I was like, fuck, what do I do? Like, you know, and that was probably just that first week, and even like having it open the week before. Because I'd never seen that from the gym being open from scratch like before. It's usually members there already when I go into it. Yeah. So that was cool. That was just...
It's chaotic, isn't it?
Oh, it's crazy, like, but you don't really know what you're doing, but you're just going with it and hoping it works out in a way, like. And it did, like. And then...
Yeah, that first week was good.
Yeah, it was really good. Other than that... I don't know really. I can't really think of it.
That's fine.
Straight up, yeah.
This one you might be able to, so on the polar opposite of that, and I think it's important to give the good with the bad. What are like the 1 or 2 top least enjoyable moments or memories that you have working with Tailormade over the last 3 years? Stressful, not enjoyable, worst?
There hasn't really, like I'm not even just saying this, there hasn't really been too much.
Okay.
But probably just like maybe dealing with some situations that you're not used to, like even just picking up the phone for the first time, that kind of stuff. Like I was shitting it, like at the time, like
I remember the first time you were doing sales calls, you just avoided it.
Yeah, Gavin was sitting in the room. He was probably watching me on the camera.
Why is Chris not doing the calls?
And he asked me have I done it. I said, no, I'm just getting around to it now. But stuff like that, like, because most stuff isn't too bad, to be totally honest with you. Like, there's never anything that you can't really deal with.
I think that's like anything you do for the first time, it seems scary.
Yeah.
And then once you do it, it's like it just becomes the norm. And now you do any sort of calls.
Yeah, like I love doing sales calls, that kind of meeting people for the first time, that kind of stuff. Like I love doing that now. But at the time, I was like, shitting it, like.
Yeah. Class. What's your favorite aspect of the job?
Favorite aspect of it, I suppose the way it's just so fast moving, like.
Okay.
That's probably because I'm not that I get bored easily, or I like to change up all the time, but there's always something new going on, like, or there's a new event, or there's something happening over in that gym, and then this gym does it as well, and that kind of stuff. Like, it's always something going on.
It's a good point because I think people's personalities, some people hate change.
Yeah.
So I think working with us in particular, because we are growing so rapidly and changing at a massive rate, you nearly need to be able to adapt and roll with the punches almost.
Yeah, because it's not like there's huge changes every week, but there's always probably something ticking somewhere, like, and you know, because like you'd probably admit it yourself that you're only learning in a lot of areas too, like
100%.
And there's always new findings.
We don't have it all figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think sometimes people can look at even myself and Gavin and think we have it all figured out.
Yeah.
We really don't. We're literally just learning on the fly and adapting.
That's how I suppose you figure it all out as well at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah. Just to counteract that, what's your least favourite aspect of the job?
Least favourite aspect of the job? Probably coming in at 6 a.m. and after training the night before and I'm busted, tired and everything.
That's to be, the early mornings and late-ish, not late evenings, but late enough.
Yeah. But it's grand, like. You
Good.
Get over it, a cup of coffee and you're grand.
Perfect. Could you describe the company culture? What, like in your words, because you've worked in a few different places.
Yeah.
How would you describe our company culture?
I suppose it's funny because every gym has its own kind of personality as well, like, doesn't it? But in general, like, you'd find the same things, I think, in all the gyms where, like, just between members and coaches, everyone getting on, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even the fact now there's more kind of things like the calendar, what's the calendar you meant?
The social calendar.
Like that kind of stuff now will even make things even better again.
Class.
But no, I would say, and again, not just saying this, but I'd say it's good environment to work in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We'll leave that kind of area and we're going to chat about clients. Could you tell me about your favourite client transformation that you've been involved in and why?
So I give names?
Yeah.
Can I give names?
You can give names as long as the person would be okay with it going on socials, and if not, we can crop it out.
Yeah, you can beep it. No, I won't give names because there has been a few and I don't really know to pick one, like, to single out. But in the last year down in Banshire, there's been a few that would stand out because I was probably there the longest. And from start, you know, from the very start for some people as well. But just general stuff like just generally changing some habits, making yourself healthier, like people with young kids, like and just building up strength and doing stuff they never thought they'd imagine.
I'm going to press you for, you don't have to say the name, but like a story of somebody that you were involved in seeing their progress over the last while and just give a bit of detail around it.
Yeah. There's probably one standout down from Banshire from last year. She came in just looking to get fit and tone up and everything like that kind of stuff. She's busy, young kids, everything like that, so she hasn't much time for herself or anything at all like that. But was like consistently in 24/7, barely getting her out of the pace, that kind of thing. Like, it was really good, like the ideal kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But still listened to you all the time, still found ways to progress herself. Even if she'd done something, it was moving on to something else. It was just kind of forward thinking the whole time. But in general, like, it wasn't just about the gym either, like, it made her feel good. Yeah. You know, for headspace.
The fitness side and the social side.
Yeah, everything, like, exactly, yeah. Everything came under the umbrella for it, I suppose, because, like, her just getting out away from the kids even was a bit of breathing space for her, clearing out her head, and then her strength, everything that comes with the gym was going the right way as well. But just made a difference to her life, like.
And I think that's a good point, because like I'm a parent, I've got 2 boys and another one on the way, and I think the kids can be not demanding in a bad way, but if you don't put that time aside for yourself, you can't actually give your best self as well. So you've probably noticed, like, she probably is performing better overall and happier.
Well, that's the first thing that parents will say to you after a couple of weeks. Like, it's usually, obviously they're going well and they're getting results, but it's like, my head is so much more clear. I'm ready for everything, like, and I'm on it most of the time now compared to where I was before. So that's just a big win for everyone.
Class, brilliant. Another point I want to touch on. So we've got 18 staff currently across Tailormade, and I would say that like fitness is such a broad spectrum that everybody has their own areas that they like. So you obviously have Gavin, who's really into powerlifting, and you've got other members of our team that are into other areas. Dylan Mack there is dieting for a bodybuilding show. Chris McCullough, what would you say your training philosophy is, or how would you describe your training, or how would you describe yourself as a coach?
I'd say just keep things simple, to be honest with you. I don't really, like, I will go into detail and stuff, but majority of the time, I don't think there's too much need to overcomplicate things a lot of the time. Getting the basics right first, and it's easy to kind of progress it from there. Perfect.
And basics, what in your head, like, talk us through your simplistic thought process around basics, like what?
Like for a squat, I'll just say, for example, like, there's a lot of things you can do, but my first thing I do is like put a target underneath you and just make sure you're getting that first. And then once you understand how low to go, like, it's that simple a lot of the time. And then you can go fixing other things if the person needs it.
And I really resonate with that as well, because I do think as coaches, a lot of us love the detail. And sometimes we could overcomplicate it, overcoach, overcue. And really all the client doesn't know, and the client doesn't really care, as long as they know that they're being listened to and that they're progressing over time. So
and something I've probably picked up recently as well is just like one thing at a time. Because I used to be a fucker for like fixing everything in one go, and then one thing would pop out and you'd be like, it's gone again. But now it's just like one thing at a time. Get that up first and then go again to the next thing.
Love it. Perfect. Moving on to, I suppose, the team and the workplace dynamic in Tailormade. Could you give an insight as to like the support and the development opportunities within the business, just from your perspective?
Well, like, it's been huge, I suppose, since I started part-time, and I had no idea of anything. Like, I had no experience coaching. I'd done a course, but like, you don't really know a whole lot coming out of the course either. Like, it's all about getting experience. So like, worked a lot with Gavin on just movement-wise and watching the way he does it and watching the way he's taught other coaches to do it, and they found their own way as well. So that was like on the floor kind of stuff, brought me on loads. Then working with everyone, like the likes of the head coaches and stuff like that, yourself and Gavin, Paul in the background as well, seeing what they do. It would bring you on in all areas, because it's kind of a small enough team that you kind of fall into everything at some point, and you kind of have to pick up a bit of work at some point here and there. So there's huge development coming, and even then recently getting the chance to go over we went to Redden. We went up to Dublin a couple of times for a couple of seminars.
We've another trip in November.
We've another trip in November. Like, they're unbelievable, where you go and you meet and you hear from other people, like in England, and see how they're doing things, and it's just mind blowing to see what some people are doing and where you can get that kind of stuff. So there's huge potential.
And I think on that, like, a lot of us as gym owners or PTs, we can stay in our own bubble Monday to Sunday. So we're big advocates of like leaving the country to go to bigger fitness-based events, so that we get exposed to what's going on in the industry, and really opens up your mind to like just how big the industry is, and how small and insignificant one little gym is. And how things don't really matter that much. So thanks for that. What are you most excited about with your future with Tailormade, or career aspirations? Like, what's exciting you the most currently?
Probably just seeing the growth that the company has done already, and knowing it's only 5 or 6 years old, 7 years old maybe, and where it could be in another 10 years' time. Like, it's just crazy to think how much things can grow. Because it's still so fresh, and it's already achieved so much. But also as well, like, not knowing what's next kind of excites me as well. It could be fucking anything, like, you know.
Chris, I have an idea.
I'm like, bang, we'll see you later. But that's kind of what keeps me going as well, like. Because you don't know what's next, and when it comes, you kind of tackle it then.
I think, like, if you stop this is my thought process. If you stop progressing, like, you're just gonna go backwards, and
Yeah.
So like I'm a big advocate of like forward march, onto the next thing. Obviously you want to make sure that the business is solid every time we make a move, but yeah, I think that continual progression is...
And even no matter what kind of position you're in, whether it be like a head coach, coach 1, coach 2, Paul's role, which is just everything, like even if you're staying in the same role, it changes so much. Like, and that, even though you're at the same role, it still progresses onwards.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Things like that are good.
Good stuff. There's a lot of new PTs following us. As they probably know already, we're looking to open up a couple more gyms over the next few years. So we will be expanding our team quite rapidly when it comes to bringing on new coaches and PTs. What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out in the industry? And I think you're a great person to answer this question because you've got your PT certificate, and then we were like the first point of contact in terms of your PT or coaching career. So what advice would you give to someone new who's watching this, who's just starting in the industry?
What I'd probably say is, first of all, just getting reps. You know, you can't be too greedy straight away because you just need experience. Like, you just need to get yourself into a place that you can learn into. So learning that, and also probably working, if you're going to be in an area like this, working on your people skills is going to be huge for you. And just being able to have the chat with people and not be afraid to kind of get in deep with some people, because that comes over time. But it's definitely good to kind of get involved with people. Do
you want to mention, because like we don't do this for everybody, but if there is people that want like work experience or to come in and shadow, as long as the person is a good fit, we do allow it. Do you want to just touch on, there's a couple of people at the moment that have made contact with you that we're going to bring into Banch and Thurles to just like give them some experience. And if they end up being really good, we could actually end up hiring them. So that's probably a route in the door.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like we have one guy due to start down in Banch. He's on college co-op, and he's basically just coming in for experience. But I was saying to him, like, it's a really good way of seeing what we do, and you know, maybe down the line it could be something that you get into as well, and you never know where it will take you from there. So things like that, just taking any opportunity you can get really at the start, and because you don't know where it could lead you.
Brilliant, perfect. And then obviously I mentioned that we're planning on opening up a few more gyms, and there's a couple of people that follow us that maybe see our job applications. What would you say to somebody considering working with us that is like maybe working in a gym, doing one-to-one PT, maybe have to do desk hours for free? Because we're a little bit different to most businesses within the fitness space. We actually pay salaries to all of our coaches. What would you say to somebody maybe considering working with us?
What I would say
Don't do it.
Stay away. Get over there. No, I'd say to just be open again to everything. Like, and it's important to realize, because a lot of jobs probably within the fitness industry would require like a lot of desk work, and you don't realize you actually have to get involved with people, that kind of stuff too. But what would I say to someone looking to start with us?
Considering starting with us, like obviously say if we were to open a new gym, we'd put out an ad for 2 or 3 experienced coaches. Maybe they're working for somebody else. Yeah,
well, I'd say for someone who's starting new is to kind of back yourself as well if you do have experience, first of all, because coming into a new area can be hard. But don't be afraid to kind of to show that you know stuff, you know, because coming into a new area, it can be difficult.
Showcase your skills.
Back yourself a little bit. And also just be ready to be kind of on your feet, you know, be expecting a bit of challenge, because it's good, because it will progress you on. You know, it's definitely not a steady pace, but it's a challenging pace, but it's good if you're into that kind of style.
Love it. Thanks for that, Chris. A kind of a sidetrack. What's your favourite way to unwind outside of work?
What will I do? I have 2 dogs. Bring them off, load them into the car, bring them off somewhere. I would just chill out. I'd probably maybe watch a little bit of Netflix or something like that as well. But even just training in the evenings, because work can be really busy sometimes, so that's like a deload. You don't really think about anything else. You're just in the zone for that. And just getting out, off with herself, I suppose, things like that. Have to get that in there.
You mentioned the dogs, Chris. Right? What about poor Kate?
We go off sometimes. So
Kate, if you're watching this, you get out the baseball bat this weekend and give it to him.
No, but just simple things like that, just unwind, I suppose. Cut that.
Perfect. I think that's everything. So thanks for watching again, guys. I want to thank Chris for taking the time to fly over to Cashel and hop on. It was great to spend some time and chat. I hope you got some value. If we have some people who are thinking about becoming clients with Tailormade Fitness, please reach out through our website, Instagram, Facebook, or give us an email or whatever. Our team will be in contact. We'd love to chat to you more about your goals and how we can support you. As I mentioned, we're also looking to expand to other locations. So if you're a PT or a coach and you're maybe thinking about joining us from a career perspective, reach out to myself or Gavin on Instagram, or reach out to our team. We'd love to chat and get to know you. Other than that, see you in the next episode.